Right, so today we're diving deep into this motivational speech transcript.
Ooh, motivational speech.
Yeah, it's all about like breaking free from, that self-doubt
Mm,
and just like embracing your true potential.
right. Yeah, like a pep talk.
Yeah, straight to your soul kind of
I
thing.
love those.
And what's really cool about this one is it's not just like generic advice.
Mm.
This person really like lays it all out there.
Oh, wow.
Like their philosophy and like their struggles, their triumphs, it feels really authentic.
I like that.
Yeah, so the core message that like really jumps out at me is this idea of like, stop apologizing.
Stop apologizing.
And they don't just mean like, for messing up or anything, but like for your big dreams, your beliefs, like who you are at your core.
Right.
It's like own your space in the world.
Yeah.
Because like constantly apologizing, even for little things, it can really chip away at your confidence.
Oh, absolutely.
So it makes you kind of wonder, like, what are you holding back on?
Mm.
Because you're worried about what others might think.
Yeah.
And that no apologies mindset is powerful stuff.
It is, and
Yeah.
you know what? That ties into this whole idea of being strong enough,
Strong enough.
which they talk about a lot in this speech.
Yeah.
And it's not about like physical strength or anything like that,
Right.
but like that inner resilience,
Yeah.
to keep going even when things get tough.
Oh, totally. And they actually share this story about like pushing through to record this very speech.
Wow.
Even though they were feeling like completely under the weather.
Oh, wow.
Talk about commitment,
Yeah.
right? And proves a point. Resilience isn't something you're just born with.
Yeah.
It's built by facing those challenges head on.
So what does strong enough look like for you in your own life? What
Yeah.
challenges are you like ready to tackle?
That's a good one. Now, here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The speaker makes this point that like life itself is neutral.
Okay.
It's our interpretations that make things good or bad,
Oh.
positive or negative.
Nice.
And they use this example about getting frustrated with their apartment lease renewal.
Okay.
And at first they're like totally annoyed, like it's a personal attack.
Right.
But then they have this like realization. It's not personal. It's just a logistical problem to solve.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
So that lease story, it really highlights how like our mindset can color everything, doesn't it?
Oh, it totally does.
Like that whole idea of cognitive framing.
Exactly how we frame a situation, dictates how we feel about it, how we respond to it.
So it makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Are we sometimes getting in our own way by how we're framing things?
Right.
And what challenges in your life could maybe use a fresh perspective?
Totally. And that leads us to another big idea in this speech, finding your North Star.
Your North Star.
Yeah, it's all about having that guiding purpose, those core values, that help you make decisions.
Oh, I like that. And they even quote Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, fun.
If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. I love that because it's about being intentional with your life, right?
Yes.
Making sure your actions align with what truly matters to you.
Yeah.
But goal setting, identifying your values, those are all tools to help you stay on track.
Absolutely.
So take a moment to think, what is your North Star?
Hmm.
What values and goals are guiding you?
Now, building on that, the speaker talks about this concept of the illusion of choice.
Illusion of choice.
Yeah, and they're not saying like we don't have free will or anything like that.
Okay.
But that, if you want to achieve certain things in life,
Right.
there are certain actions that are non-negotiable.
You got to put in the work.
Exactly. And they use their own career journey as an example.
Perfect.
They talk about how they've had to like constantly adapt their content creation strategy,
Right.
to reach a wider audience.
To stay relevant.
Exactly. So they went from doing like daily podcast episodes
Oh, wow.
to doing weekly interviews, and then they started integrating their YouTube content.
So it's like they had this goal and they were willing to adapt to get there.
Exactly. It's a great example of having a growth mindset,
Growth mindset.
embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and improve.
So where are you stuck in a rut?
Mm.
Where are you clinging to old ways of doing things that might be holding you back?
Ooh,
How can you adapt to achieve your goals?
that's a good one. Now, this next bit is one of my favorite parts of the whole speech.
Okay.
They use this metaphor of different moons.
Different moons.
Yeah, they say, my moon is not the same as their moon,
I love that.
which I thought was just such a beautiful way of emphasizing the individuality of our paths.
Totally. And you know what? That whole different moons thing, it really hit home for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember when I was trying to fit into this corporate mold,
Right.
even though it felt all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to realize I was chasing the wrong moon.
We've all been there, right?
Oh, totally.
Comparing ourselves to others and feeling like we're falling short.
Yep.
But this metaphor reminds us that it's okay to have different goals, different definitions of success.
Absolutely. And they contrast their own journey, which is all about like the unpredictable world of entrepreneurship,
Right.
with their friend Chris, who like loves the stability of a 9-to-5 job.
Exactly. It really highlights that there's no right or wrong way to live.
Right.
It's about finding what resonates with your soul.
So ask yourself, what is your moon? What path makes you feel alive and fulfilled?
And to drive home this point about how subjective our experiences are, they introduce this really powerful symbol of a telescope.
Telescope.
Yeah, they talk about looking through it at different things, a road, a sunset, a boat, and how each like evokes different feelings and interpretations.
And the telescope image is really powerful.
It is.
It makes you realize how much we each see the world through our own lens.
Right. It represents our unique perspective, shaped by our experiences, our beliefs, and even, our biases.
Oh, totally.
Makes you wonder, are you seeing things as they truly are? Or are you filtering them through a lens that might be distorting your perception?
That's deep.
I know, right? And it really makes you think, right? Like how much our perspective shapes our reality. And speaking of shaping things, the speaker dives into this whole concept of luck.
Oh, luck.
Yeah, they acknowledge that it definitely plays a role, but they emphasize that it's not just about like sitting around waiting for something good to happen.
Right, they use this contrast between being a luck manufacturer, implying we create our own fortune, and like being a fisherman catching luck,
I see.
where outside factors play a bigger part.
It's like recognizing that we can't control everything,
Yeah.
but we can definitely stack the deck in our favor, through
Right.
hard work and preparation.
So think about your own life for a second. Are you waiting for luck to show up? Or are you out there making your own luck?
Such a good question. And the speaker brings up this historical example.
Oh, cool.
The American Revolution. It's easy to say, like, oh, the colonists were just lucky to have French support, but
That totally ignores all the work they put in.
exactly.
Their bravery, their strategy, their commitment to the cause, all of that contributed to those, like, lucky events.
Exactly. They created the conditions for success. And that leads us to another thought-provoking point. The speaker warns against letting ideas become rigid identities.
Oh.
They even quote Oscar Wilde saying consistency is the last refuge of the unimaginative.
That is such a great quote.
Isn't it?
It's like they're saying, don't be afraid to evolve, to challenge your own beliefs, and to stay open to new perspectives.
It's easy to fall into that trap of confirmation bias,
Yeah, totally.
surrounding ourselves with information that just reinforces what we already believe.
Preaching to the choir.
Exactly.
And the speaker uses this great analogy of trains of thought.
Ooh, I like this one.
We can hop on and off different trains,
Yeah.
as we learn and grow.
Such a powerful image.
And it reminds me of this time when I was convinced I wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, wow.
And I spent years on that pre-med track.
Yeah.
But eventually I realized it wasn't the right train for me.
Wow, so you hopped off that train.
I had to hop off.
And it's brave to admit when you need to switch trains.
It is.
And I think that's what the speaker's getting at. Embracing a growth mindset means being willing to change course when necessary.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears a bit, the speaker dives into the importance of perception
Okay.
and how it can either make or break us.
Right.
It's about recognizing the stories we tell ourselves, the reasons we create,
Yeah.
and how those things shape our reality.
They share this personal anecdote about struggling with a creative block.
Oh, creative block.
Yeah, and at first they blamed external factors,
Like what?
like their technology, their environment.
Right.
But upon closer examination,
Yeah.
they realized it was actually a lack of self-belief that was holding them back.
It's so easy to misdiagnose the problem, isn't it?
Oh, it happens all the time.
It's like we're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Exactly, and the speaker encourages us to confront these limiting beliefs head on, to challenge those stories that are holding us back.
And they also talk about dealing with criticism, especially in today's digital age,
Oh, yeah?
where negativity can feel so amplified.
And they offer this great reframing.
Okay, what's that?
Instead of resenting the criticism, focus on building your confidence.
Because a life without any criticism probably means you're not taking enough risks.
Exactly.
Right.
And they use this analogy of trying to fix a boat with a hole in the bottom
Oh!
by simply adjusting the sails.
You got to address the core issue,
Right.
not just apply a superficial fix.
And then they share this incredibly personal story about feeling lost and overwhelmed during a particularly tough year.
Okay.
They had taken on too much and they had lost sight of their priorities.
But they were able to pull themselves out of that rut
They did.
by asking themselves some hard questions
Right.
and getting honest about their motivations.
It's a powerful reminder that we have the power to change our course.
We do.
We're not victims of our circumstances.
And that brings us to another important theme, consistency.
Consistency.
It's not just about showing up,
right.
but about making those small choices day after day
Yeah.
that lead to extraordinary results.
They emphasize that consistency is the price of admission.
The price of admission.
But
But it's adaptation, that older, wiser brother of consistency that allows you to truly thrive.
and they use their own content creation journey as a perfect example.
Oh yeah, they talked about that.
They went from daily podcasts to weekly interviews to integrating their YouTube content.
Right?
They were constantly analyzing and
Keeping
adapting
it relevant.
to reach a wider audience.
It highlights the power of self-reflection,
Mm,
being willing to look at what's working, what's not,
yeah.
and adjust accordingly.
It's all about embracing a growth mindset, you know?
Growth mindset.
Be your own biggest fan and your own toughest critic.
Oh, I like that.
Celebrate the commitment to showing up, but also hold yourself accountable for continuous improvement.
Now let's revisit this amazing different moons concept.
Ooh, different moons.
Such a powerful reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all path to success or fulfillment.
It's about celebrating the individuality of our journeys and the unique things that light us up.
And they drive that point home by contrasting their entrepreneurial journey
Mm-hmm.
with their friend Chris, who thrives in a traditional 9-to-5 setting.
Exactly. It's a beautiful illustration of how there's no right or wrong way to live. It's about finding what resonates with your soul.
So what's your moon?
Mm.
What makes your path unique?
Yeah.
What sets your soul on fire?
It's such an important question to ask yourself.
It is, and to build on that idea,
Yeah.
the speaker uses this analogy of a boat sailing freely on the ocean.
Ooh, a boat.
It represents endless possibilities,
I love that.
a fresh start,
Uh-huh.
and the ability to chart your own course.
What struck me was the emphasis on leaving behind the baggage of the past.
Oh, yeah?
The mistakes, the setbacks, the limiting beliefs.
It's like they're saying we're not defined by our past.
Exactly.
Every day is a chance to write a new chapter,
Mm-hmm.
to set sail toward a brighter horizon.
Exactly. And it's about taking ownership of that narrative, you know?
Right.
Recognizing that we're the captains of our own ships.
We are.
We have the power to choose our destination and navigate the challenges that come our way.
But as with any journey,
Yeah,
there will be obstacles, right?
there will be.
And the speaker calls them barbarians at the gate.
Barbarians at the gate.
They use this historical analogy of ancient civilizations under constant threat
Oh, wow.
to highlight the importance of protecting what matters most.
I see.
It's like saying our commitment to growth requires vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
We need to guard against complacency.
Yeah.
And those barbarians, doubts, distractions, the temptation to settle that can sabotage our progress.
It's not about denying ourselves joy or pleasure, you know, but about recognizing that true freedom lies in self-discipline
Yeah.
and staying true to our values.
And sometimes those barbarians are our own fears,
Ooh,
particularly the fear of loss.
the fear of loss.
And the speaker reflects on how the passage of time has impacted their perspective on risk-taking
Mm-hmm.
and living in the present moment.
Yeah,
They talk about seeing their childhood idols age,
right.
witnessing friends fade from their lives,
Wow.
and realizing that everything is temporary.
It's a powerful reminder of our own mortality.
It is,
It's a call to seize the day and not let fear hold us back.
because the true loss lies in waiting,
Right.
in letting fear dictate our choices and prevent us from truly living.
It's an invitation to step into our own cinematic masterpiece
Ooh.
and embrace the beauty and chaos of an authentic life.
But that doesn't mean we ignore that inner critic,
Right.
the ghost inside, as the speaker calls it.
The ghost inside.
And they draw a parallel to Carl Jung's concept of the shadow.
The shadow.
The part of ourselves that embodies our fears and insecurities.
Oh, wow.
It's that voice that tells us we're not good enough,
Hmm.
that we'll never achieve our dreams.
And they emphasize that we all have this shadow, you know, this inner critic,
Yeah.
but we don't have to let it control us.
Instead of trying to silence that voice, we should acknowledge it,
Right.
understand it,
Mm-hmm.
and then choose not to let it dictate our actions.
It's about developing inner authority.
Yeah,
That unshakable belief in yourself that allows you to move forward despite your fears.
it's about recognizing that negative thoughts don't have to hold you back.
They don't.
You can choose to step into your power, embrace your true self, and pursue your dreams with courage and conviction. It's really all about like making these conscious choices, you know?
Conscious choices.
Yeah, like the speaker goes on to talk about life as this game of trade-offs.
Oh, trade-offs.
Every decision we make,
Right.
every path we choose,
Yeah.
it means saying no to something else.
It's like that old saying, you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's about recognizing the opportunity cost of our actions.
The opportunity cost of our action.
And making sure that, you know, those trade-offs
Yeah.
align with what truly matters to us.
Which brings us back to that whole idea of like, you know, finding your North Star.
Your North Star.
Cutting through all the noise and distractions to like identify those core values that guide our decisions.
And the speaker actually shares this story about struggling to answer the question, what's your perfect day?
Oh, wow.
And they realized they had never really defined what truly brought them joy.
Oh, that's so relatable.
It is.
We get so caught up in the day-to-day, you know,
All right.
that we forget to like pause and ask ourselves those like fundamental questions.
And it's not a one-time thing either.
Right.
You know, our priorities and passions evolve as we grow.
They do.
It's about staying connected to that inner compass and making adjustments along the way.
Speaking of perspective, remember that powerful telescope analogy?
The telescope, oh yeah.
The speaker uses it to illustrate how like differently we can view the same thing.
Oh, I love that analogy.
They describe like looking through it at a road leading to the city.
Okay.
Beautiful sunset.
Mm-hmm.
A boat sailing on the horizon.
Each image evoked different emotions and interpretations.
It does.
Didn't you?
It's a brilliant way of showing that our unique experiences and beliefs shape how we see the world.
Right.
Like that saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
And it challenges us to examine our own telescopes.
Her own telescope.
Yeah, to consider how our beliefs and biases might be coloring our perception.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing things clearly?
Right.
Or are we filtering everything through a lens that like distorts reality?
It's a call for self-awareness,
Yeah.
for being open to different perspectives.
Totally.
And recognizing that, you know, there might be other ways of understanding the world around us.
Now here's something that really resonated with me.
Okay.
The speaker talks about probability and how we often misinterpret it, you know, especially when it comes to like achieving our goals.
Oh, yeah.
They challenge that whole idea of like getting discouraged by the odds,
Yeah.
by those statistics that tell us, you know, only a small percentage of people succeed.
Right, because those numbers ignore the power of our own actions.
Exactly.
They use this great metaphor.
Okay, what is?
Instead of seeing ourselves as like one red marble in a jar of millions of green ones,
Okay.
we should view every step we take as replacing a green marble with a red one.
I love that.
Right? It's such a visual way of showing that our actions,
Yeah.
even the small ones, can shift the odds in our favor.
It's not about denying the reality of probability,
Right.
but understanding that we have agency.
We do.
We can increase our chances of success by focusing on what we can control.
Right, and it reminds me of that example they gave about the American Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to look back and say, oh, the colonists were just lucky. But that completely ignores their bravery, their strategy, their unwavering commitment.
Their actions created the conditions for those lucky events to occur.
Exactly. They weren't just passive recipients of fate.
Right.
They shaped their destiny through their choices and actions.
And that brings us back to like one of the most important messages of this whole speech.
What's that?
Don't let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams.
Don't let fear hold you back.
And they even warn against letting ideas become rigid identities.
Oh, right.
They quote Oscar Wilde again,
Oh, fun.
who said, "Consistency is the last refuge of the unimaginative."
It's a call for intellectual humility and flexibility, being
Yeah.
open to new information
Yeah.
and challenging our own assumptions.
Because sometimes we need to hop off one train of thought and onto another,
We do.
and that's okay.
That's okay. It's how we grow and evolve.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
let's remember the core message.
What's that?
Stop apologizing for who you are.
Yeah.
Embrace your true potential. Live authentically.
It's an invitation to step into your power,
It is.
to break free from self-doubt and create a life that truly reflects your values and aspirations.
It's been an incredible journey unpacking all of these ideas with you.
It has.
And as the speaker so eloquently puts it, the future begins now.
So what will you create?